WVEC-TV, Hampton.
Time for Hampton's Wave or Two, and here we go.
This is Jim Kincaid, ABC News.
In the 13 News Now vault today, we're talking snow. Now, love it or hate it, Hampton Roads has seen some pretty significant snows over the years. Today, we're looking back at some of the biggest snows in Hampton Roads, starting with one I remember well. It's the blizzard of 1980. Now, I was just a kid, but I remember the deep snow drifts well over my head. This snow is particularly memorable because of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus being in town. People got snowed in and had to spend the night at Norfolk Scope and Chrysler Hall. And the animals had to walk through the snow to get back to the circus train at Lambert's Point to make their next destination. Here's legendary anchor Jim Kincaid with Judith Baruti, Kellen Beck, and Tone Friedman.
Time was, in the days before television news or even newspapers, troubadours used to travel from town to town and spread the word of great events with their songs. Well, it seems this week's blizzard ought to be remembered in a special way, and Judith Baruti gave it a go.
Come gather round and hear the tale of the blizzard of 1980. A mighty snow, a frightful gale, the blizzard of 1980. It fell on each Tidewater street, you could not move by car nor feet. The storm of the century in repeat, the blizzard of 1980. And folks were forced to sleep in Scope in the blizzard of 1980. They looked outside, they lost all hope in the blizzard of 1980. But all the restless circus beasts could pack their trunks and leave at least a chilled parade through Norfolk streets in the blizzard of 1980. The mail was stopped, the paper too, in the blizzard of 1980. In Hampton Roads, not much to do in the blizzard of 1980. But shovel ice, throw snowballs too, or take your pet a-hoppin' through the frosty lanes of Ocean View in the blizzard of 1980. And now the snow's piled up in banks, the blizzard of 1980, by plows and trucks and army tanks in the blizzard of 1980. But Tidewater has won some fame, our northern neighbors put to shame. The snow belt of the east our name in the blizzard of 1980. Judith Baruti, 13 News.
That's marvelous. Now that the snow has started to melt, city and state officials are beginning to assess the cost of the March 1st blizzard. We have that story from Judith Baruti.
Norfolk City crews are working in 12-hour shifts to clear the streets. Much of that will be in overtime pay. There have been many storm-related costs to wreck the budgets of each Tidewater city. Norfolk Assistant City Manager Neil Windley gives some examples.
The things that are going to cost are the contracts that we've extended to laboring people who have supplied equipment and manpower to help in the snow removal, wrecker services that we've used, a lot of hidden costs for the street damage that's been suffered, food costs that were incurred for the Scope folks, and other costs of that nature we don't know the extent of yet.
The National Guard has plans to move out by Thursday night, but while the Guardsmen were helping out, the costs were adding up. State Adjutant General William McCadden has an estimate.
There are no hidden costs because we're using federal equipment for state mission, so the state has to reimburse the federal government. My guesstimate yesterday was $22,000 for the Tidewater area. They'll go a little higher today. The average runs, we figure we use a factor of about $51 per man per day for paying allowances. That does not include the equipment rental.
All told, the cleanup operation in Virginia is expected to add up to some $6 million. That doesn't count the future cost of repairing the roads when the potholes start to settle. And winter's not over yet. One of the reasons they're being so diligent about getting the snow off the streets is that some are afraid the precipitation in the forecast will not be rain. As the district director of the State Highway Department said, we're making way for more snow. Judith Baruti, 13 News.
The snow started falling March 1st, a Saturday morning. The fury of the blizzard knocked Tidewater off its feet with 14 inches of snow, a record storm. It left roads impassable, schools and businesses lifeless, and even in the Postal Service. Only the National Guard was equipped to get around. For almost 5 days, nobody went much of anywhere. But what on earth did all those people do with all that time on their hands and almost nothing in the way of entertainment? I imagine you've probably guessed the answer by now. 9 months have passed since the big snow, and while there's no proof babies were conceived that white weekend in March, some area hospitals report an increase in births this week.
We've been kind of slow the last week, but we've begun to pick up in the last couple of days. It was crazy here yesterday, and they were busy during the night, so maybe a trend.
Coincidence? Within the bounds of possibility, but who dares erase the gleam in this father's eye when he considers his newborn daughter might be a Blizzard baby?
The fact that she's here is proof enough, I guess. She's a Blizzard baby for me, that's fine.
Not everyone will have a living reminder of those snowbound days the 1st of March, but some will, and the evidence is filling local maternity wards 9 months after the blizzard of 1980. Kellen Beck, 13 News, Norfolk.
March 1st, 1980. For many Tidewater residents, scenes like this one will not melt from the memories. Everywhere you looked, there was snow, and still more snow. It began falling February 29th. By March 1st, almost 14 inches had been dumped on the area. Traffic was at a standstill, the governor declared a state of emergency, and songwriters sang about it.
Come gather round and hear the tale of the blizzard of 1980. A mighty
That was then. This is the scene March 1st, 1981. There's no doubt about it. It's quite a contrast to this date just a year ago.
Many of these people were survivors of the blizzard of 1980. For those who lived through it, it was an experience they'll never forget.
In the blizzard 80, I was in Nags Head at the time when it started snowing. And so we just got stuck. We was in Nags Head for a week.
We got snowbound, trying to take her on one night, and got stuck in the snow. Spent about 3 hours digging her car out, and finally decided we'd just leave it.
Went on a job interview today. It started snowing, and then I couldn't start my job the first day I was supposed to.
Tome Friedman, 13 News.
While 1980 saw several big snows and was our snowiest year on record, it wasn't our biggest snowstorm. That was actually December 27th and 28th, 1892, when a storm brought over 18 inches of snow. Now, of course, we don't have video of that storm, but we do have our second largest snowfall. That was mid-February 1989 when we had 15.4 inches of snow. Here's Laura Taylor, Velma Scaife, Mike Gooding, and Michael Barnes.
Ron Fanning has no choice. He's made an oath to make his daily rounds in the West Ghent neighborhood of Norfolk, no matter what.
Neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow will stop us from our appointed rounds.
But Fanning ran into plenty of company along the way, some armed and dangerous. Folks braved the snow in all sorts of vehicles, the four-wheeled kind, the two-wheeled kind, and the three-wheeled kind. There weren't only human kinds facing the elements. Meet Rocky the Wonder Dog, the canine that conquered Mount Trashmore.
He loved it, though. I wish I could see the expression on his face, but...
The white stuff brought out a lot of kids, too, young and old.
I'm a kid. I'm just another kid out here.
Some of the kids like Wetchell used old-fashioned sleds to make their way down Mount Trashmore, while others like surfers Bob Copley and Dan Dunn dug into their summer beach stuff for all seasonal use.
They're just real slick on the bottom. You just take a run and jump and slide real easy. And you pack it down and it forms like ice sheets on the mountain.
Whatever the method, snowboarding, boogie boarding, Volkswagen boarding on the hood of a '69 Bug, or torpedo boarding, it was all downhill going, and there was little thought that today's snow is tomorrow's slush. Laura Taylor, 13 News, Virginia Beach.
This is Velma's Scape on the peninsula. The deep blanket of snow was a beautiful sight for residents able to stay indoors or just wanted to get outdoors for a little fun.
I went swimming 3 days ago. Now I'm playing in the snow, so it's quite this extremes for me.
It was also a quick extreme for the driver of this four-wheel drive vehicle who lost control on Jefferson Avenue in Newport News.
You hit the shoulder and she just went in. It's the way it goes. I was supposed to be going and making money, but now it looks like I'm going to be paying some money.
This was, however, a good day for the towing business, even though road crews started sanding and clearing away snow as early as 8 o'clock last night.
It is not getting a bit better. We are strictly dedicating our efforts to the arterial roads, and we will continue on. We know of no relief in sight at this time, and we just have to continue doing the best we can.
By mid-afternoon, up to 12 inches of snow had fallen on the peninsula, and the stuff is still coming down. The heavy snow caught many people ill-equipped in more ways than one. Grocery stores were packed with the normal Saturday crowd, plus those stocking up in case there's a big freeze.
I wanted to beat the snow before it got too deep.
Yeah.
But it don't look like I made it.
This weather is a sharp contrast from just a few days ago. Perhaps this is how Old Man Winter gets the last laugh. Velma Escape, 13 News on the peninsula.
They wouldn't think of letting a little thing like a blizzard get in the way at this place. Hospitals are closed, schools are closed, government's closed, places of business are closed, shopping malls are closed, movie theaters are closed, but the Willoughby Inn restaurant and bar, it's not closed.
Be happy, don't worry, be happy now.
In fact, they don't seem to worry about much in here, certainly not the snow. How long you been here today?
Oh, since about 10 o'clock this morning.
How long are you going to be here?
Until they throw me out.
But that's not too likely at the Willoughby Inn, where everyone, it seems, is treated like family. The Willoughby has been racking up big sales on crummy days like this for years. They never close. How come?
The owners are out of town.
And patrons say there's no better way to get their minds off what's happening outside. What are you doing to keep warm here?
Cold beer. Plenty of it.
Don't worry, be happy now.
In fact, after a few hours at this place, you might even think it's July. Mike Gooding, 13 News, Norfolk.
These are the people working today, people like Postman Bill Shoemate. He took the postal oath to deliver the mail no matter what, and today he lived up to it.
I just started out doing mail delivery, so this could be one of my worst days.
And bagger Sean Robertson kept things moving too at the local grocery store as he collected carts in practice for the next Winter Olympics.
I was in bed asleep, and Mom came and told me there's no school, and the work had called, and she kind of forced me to go in, but it's not that bad. I need the money.
The sign at this gas station says, "Service is our business." And for the workers here, that means to go on no matter what, whether it's high winds or snow. Jim Minson was at the Shell station to check under the hood, pump gas, and help motorists get where they wanted to go.
You got your heat, you got your cold. It's just another day, that's all.
A lot of people shoveled snow, plowed it, so we could keep moving. Work went on, and so did life. Some nurses at Virginia Beach General worked around the clock in labor and delivery, taking care of mothers and their newborns.
These babies do need someone to care for them and rock them and love them.
So you're here, huh?
I'm here.
They took special care of Amber Wood, the daughter of one of our producers here at 13 News. All of these people took care of us today, including Carl at the local 7-Eleven store on Bonnie Road. He had one of the most important jobs, helping customers warm up with a hot cup of coffee. In Virginia Beach, Michael Barnes, 13 News.
For most, this probably was the extent of their fun today, slip-sliding around neighborhood streets. 16-year-old Tammy Doorband even managed to find a little fun in doing this.
I guess, yeah. It's not too bad.
Well, it's not too good either, is it?
Well, I like the snow, so I don't mind being out.
But for the few, the brave, the real fun was here at Mount Trashmore. They brought their boogie boards, they brought their sleds. Roger Tucker even brought his all-weather Wonder Pooch Champ.
I had him out on a boogie board at the beach, so I figure if he can boogie board, then he can definitely ski on a hydro slide over.
But because schools had to close, you can bet they didn't bring their textbooks. That's just how Charles Simpson liked it. But think of all the fun you're missing in school.
No, no fun. I ain't missing nothing.
I've determined that the average age out here is about 30. So we're just a bunch of big kids out here having a good time. And hey, you don't get conditions like this all the time. So what the heck?
So what the heck? That's what I said, and up the hill I trudged to join in. The conditions were lousy, but the price was right. And since fun was what this story was supposed to be about in the first place, well, it's a tough job, but somebody had to do it. Okay, so it's not Vail, but it is the best thing we've got going around here. And besides, I didn't want to let the kids have all the fun today. Mike Gooding, 13 News at Mount Trashmore in Virginia Beach.
Finally, we have our almost white Christmas of 2010. We didn't wake up to snow on the ground, but snow started to fall on Christmas Day, and by the 26th, we had 14.2 inches of snow on the ground. Here's how we covered the snow on our 6 p.m. broadcast on December 26th, 2010, with Sella Kim, Jeff Lawson, Patrick Terpstra, Emily Rao, Philip Townsend, and David Ham.
This is 13 News at 6.
Hampton Roads buried by a winter blast today. More than a foot of snow has already come down in some places, and it's not over. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Sella Kim. Winter weather has brought our area to a standstill today. Governor Bob McDonnell has declared a state of emergency. Many roads remain impassable under snow and ice. We've seen accidents and stranded drivers all day as the conditions continue to worsen. Making things worse, we can expect at least a couple more hours of heavy snowfall before things finally start calming down. Our 13 News team has been tracking it every step of the way. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lawson is in the weather lab right now. And Jeff, how much longer will the snow be coming down tonight?
Well, it's going to continue much of the night, but at not nearly the type of intensity or the type of total coverage as to what we had earlier. It's already becoming more hit and miss and more scattered, in other words. Late tonight, probably even become very isolated. And while there are a few moderate patches here and there, for the most part, almost every reporting station is now down to light snow. So again, a couple of pockets of moderate being reported, but let's talk about this system. Huge storm wrapping up. We talk all the time about a comma shape indicating a developing snowstorm. Well, this is about as large a comma shape as you can get, and you can see that is exactly what we're talking about out there with the heavy bright clouds and the thunderstorms a couple hundred miles offshore, and on the back side of it, that heavy snow from the upper level system. We're going to continue to watch that system pull away as we go through the overnight hours. And the big news will be the falling temperatures and the fact that we're expecting conditions to get a little bit colder. So let's take a look at the radar one more time, and you'll be able to see that as we go back to that, we're talking about pockets of precipitation slowly easing up. That's the latest from the 13 News Weather Authority.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff. Our team coverage of this winter blast continuing now with a closer look at the road conditions out there. 13 News reporter Patrick Terpstra joins us live from Virginia Beach. Patrick, how are things looking where you are right now?
Well, really not a whole lot of cars out on the roads. This is Independence Boulevard right over here behind me. It is certainly rough going and slow going. If you take out your BlackBerry and you have one of those traffic apps, this is what I want to show you here. This is basically the Hampton Roads region, and all of that yellow right there, that is I-64, and the yellow signifying that that is extremely slow. The red patches over there, those are roads in the areas where cars are not moving at all. And of course, all of this is because of the weather. Earlier today, we were over at a salt and brine dome. We have some video of that here in Virginia Beach. And it really was like watching a war being waged to see these trucks come in one after the other to load up with that brine solution and go back out there and plow. And all this afternoon, they just could not keep up. Those trucks would go out for 90 minutes at a time and do their best to keep the roads clear. But until the snow really started to ease up, they just couldn't get a handle on it. Here's the Public Works Director talking to us about it.
We actually treated 56 bridges today, as well as going through all the major corridors. We won't be able to get to the secondary roads until tomorrow, of course, because you may notice the snowfall is kind of deep, and it's kind of interesting. This didn't happen to about 20 years ago.
So a historic storm, and they train for this kind of thing, but you heard the man say, really, this is the kind of thing that only happens once every 20 years. Back now live out here in Virginia Beach. Look at how much snow has gathered up here, right here on this median. It is a good foot right here. This is Independence Boulevard over there, and you can see how dangerous this is right now, but this is not slush. This is the snow, almost kind of ice. And as we were walking over here earlier today, just a little while ago, it was a lot softer than it is right now. Right now, it's starting to become a little bit harder. So certainly as we go into the evening, overnight hours, and it gets even colder, all of this is going to start to become ice. That's the latest live in Virginia Beach. Patrick Terpstra, 13 News.
Our team coverage continues now, keeping you informed of the conditions everywhere out in Hampton Roads. 13 News reporter Emily Rao is out in Suffolk tonight and joins us live now. And Emily, how are things looking out there?
So the snow is still coming down out here in Suffolk, and the wind is still pretty bad. It's been gusting a lot more lately, but there's still been a steady stream of people at the nearby gas station. They all tell us the same thing. The roads are not a place you want to be tonight.
So I'm going to just try to wait it out a little bit, and I'll be on my way back.
Robert Wilkins is gearing up for a trip back to North Carolina tomorrow. He says the wintry weather isn't going to stop him.
I'm over here trying to gas up right now so I can, I'll already be straight so I can be on my way back home.
The holiday weekend snow isn't hurting the Christmas spirit in Suffolk, but it is interrupting some Sunday plans. Sarah Seraph and her mother went out to pick up a few things, but quickly realized today wouldn't work either.
Like, we didn't have enough stuff at home, so we tried to get some food, and they all just closed.
Most side roads are still completely covered, and even bigger vehicles are having trouble.
It's really hard to drive in this weather. It's very hard.
The rule of thumb right now, stay home if at all possible.
Terrible. I haven't seen a plow all day.
And if you do venture out, there's no such thing as being too careful.
If you do slip a little bit, don't slam on brakes or nothing like that. Just ease off the brake and just let it go.
Take it easy or stay home.
Right.
Don't be a jerk out there.
And we're right by Highway 17 here in Suffolk, and it's been partially treated and cleared off, but drivers tell us again that is not the case on most roads out here. So if you can, at all possible, stay home. Reporting live in Suffolk, Emily Rao, 13 News.
Well, the storm has presented a host of problems for Hampton Roads today. As we've reported, many people are either spending extra time in airports or on the roads, but for many others, it was a day to take it easy and enjoy this rare snowfall. 13 News reporter Philip Townsend has more from Hampton.
For those not braving the roads, Sunday is a time to lie down and relax on nearly a foot of snow in Hampton.
But then I woke up this morning and all of them were asleep. And I was like, yeah, wake up, look at the snow. No!
Mariah Ricks and her friends are soaking up the fun. Some of them just happy to see the snow.
Very cold, but then it's very fun to play with.
Others with more specific plans.
I think I'm gonna make a groom and a bride of a snowman. Snowball fight, making angels. Mostly falling in snow since it's so icy.
I threw chips out here and they sit right on the hood.
But the snow isn't just for kids.
The photography, yeah, I'm loving it.
Cindy Lewis is capturing the moment with some still photography.
They're beautiful in flight.
She's been snapping pics of seagulls for years, but never in these conditions.
I was born and raised here, and we just don't have this kind of weather here in Hampton, Newport News.
While the snow is letting up a little bit compared to this morning, it will remain cold, so you should have at least a few days to continue to go out and enjoy this snow. Reporting in Hampton, Philip Townsend, 13 News.
Well, one area still going strong when the snow started to fall this morning, retail in Hampton Roads. Worsening conditions didn't stop some people from post-Christmas shopping today. And while many stores wound up shutting down early, a few people did manage to get some shopping done today. Here's 13 News reporter David Ham with more.
It'll take more than a few inches of snow to stop these shoppers.
So I thought I'll just hit the mall early, and the snow just accumulated so quickly.
Even through our snow-covered camera lens, Monica Pirtle admitted she's on a mission.
We are die-house shoppers, so I drug him out here.
In Chesapeake, retailers were also hoping for a big shopping day. Though its signs and parking lots were covered in snow, the Greenbrier Mall opened on time. So did a few surrounding stores.
Usually on the day after Christmas, a store like this Target would open packed full of customers, but on this day, the store tells us it opened with only one register operating.
That may have been because a few customers had trouble getting into the stores. At this nearby intersection, we saw cars idled, stuck, and downright struggling to get through. It didn't keep Tony Knowles away.
I love snow. That's why I'm out here.
His advice?
If you're careful, slow, and a little bit of common sense goes a long way.
To others, common sense meant getting away from these stores as even more snow stacked up.
But we're going to get out of this because it's getting worse, though. It really is getting worse.
In Chesapeake, David Ham, 13 News.